Hello there, what's good, what's going, what's Gucci, and welcome back to my channel. So I want to apologize. I know it's been a little over a week and a half that I haven't posted a video, but there's some times in life when other priorities just need to come first. No. Okay, so I've been kind of stumped. I'm like, what kind of video do I want to make? And then I was like, I'm laying down at the pool, which also, yeah, like BTW, I literally just got back from the pool like 30 seconds ago. So if I like progressively start like getting more red and red and red at the end of this video, like it's because I like to change color and my body does not react well to the sun. Anywho, but I was like laying there and it kind of all came to me while I was laying there, and I'm like, okay, the reason why I was at the pool in the first place is because I just needed a break. For many of you guys who don't know, I'm in college, and college loves to take over my life. So I don't know why, but like my calculus physics class and my calculus 2 class love to have tests in the same week. So it's a little bit stressful, especially when it's really hard for me to understand like both at the same time. But calculus like literally wants to destroy me, and it's fabulous. But anywho, so all I ever do anymore is study. Go to work, come home, study. Eat, go to sleep, wake up, study. Like there is never a moment when I am not studying. So that's gonna be the theme of this video. This video is gonna kind of be a mixture of how to prep for exams, how to get ready for midterms, but I feel like what a lot of people don't know is what to do after you take your exams, your tests, your midterms, your whatever. And I feel like that's just as important. So, which brings me back to the pool. Reason why I went to the pool is because I needed a break, I needed sun, I got tired of just being caught up in my room and just studying, looking at a book all the freaking time. It's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. Anywho, so I figured some of the things we could talk about was getting ready for exams. So now we're getting into the year. Well, I know exams are like given differently, different times, especially if you're in high school or middle school or college or night classes or summer classes or whatever. But anyways, everyone has to take exams, tests, entry tests to work, military, whatever. Everyone always has to take exams. And tests are a pretty stressful time. I don't know about you guys, but like studying is all I ever do anymore. And I'm like I love to study, but I actually go mad. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm constantly studying. I like the feeling of studying. I like the feeling of learning, but at the same time, like I also kind of don't have an option. So anyways, I'm constantly studying all the time. I probably have never studied as much as I have this semester in my entire life, and that's saying something, because if you know me, like girl, I'm always with a book open, like it's inevitable. And if you know me, like I love to stress. Like my favorite quote is, I stress about stress before there's even stress to stress about. Like it is apparent, life is apparent, stress is apparent, especially when it comes to exams. So I figured, part of the thing that people stress about when it comes to the exams, I feel like there are either two ways. You either are so stressed, you're either stressed out because you didn't study for an exam, and that's okay. Like if you don't, just acknowledge it. Like don't get a test back and be like, oh, what did I do bad? And then you're like, well, if you didn't put in the time, then that's why. Like if you are stressing out because you didn't study, I'm sorry, but you brought that on yourself. But there's also that stress of overstudying, which is what I usually do, because I don't know about you guys, but you're in class, you take notes, you do examples on the board, they're easy. You get home, do homework, they're a little bit harder. You get to the test and you're just like, was that even English? Like where did that come from? And that happens all the time. So that's how I study. Like I study so unbelievably much because I'm like, I don't want to get blindsided by those answers. I don't want to get surprised by certain things that could pop up. Like, I want to be ahead of the curve, and I feel like that's a lot of stress that gets involved. And the stress of the unknown is, for me, the hardest stress you can have, because your girl's a hardcore control freak, and like, basically I just need to have everything on lockdown, even when I have absolutely no clue or absolutely no option to like have control over it. I'm still trying to control the situation, and it's not healthy. So my first step about studying and getting ready for an exam is to study. And I know this sounds stupid, but I feel like a lot of people get studying confused on how to do it. Like, there are so many different studying techniques to do it, but at the same time, you know, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and he was like, yeah, I got dressed to go to the gym, I was so ready to go to the gym, and then I decided my gym closed for an hour. And I feel like that's kind of what it's like when it comes to studying for some people, and I'm guilty of this too. You know, you sit down, you have your books open, you know, you have your laptop on, you feel it like sinking into your brain, but are you actually understanding that it's stuff that you're reading? Or are you actually studying? Like, are you not looking up, you know, things on your phone or listening to music? And I'm not saying that you can't listen to music, but like, for me, music does not help me. Like, music just distracts me. If anything, I always listen to classical music because it doesn't have a melody, like, it doesn't have lyrics, it doesn't have a lot of stuff, so that way you can't like catch your mind getting stuck on that kind of stuff. So, you know, being able to do thoughtful and purposeful studying is huge, because you can study for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, but if you don't retain anything, then it's not going to matter, especially when it comes to the test. So one of my absolute favorite things to do to help me study is color coding. I love color coding. Markers, pens, pencils, highlighters, anything. If you know me, my entire like notebook is covered in colors, because I like things that pop out, flash at me. If I write in pencil, I don't know, it just doesn't retain well in my head. But I also feel like another problem is a lot of people, they hand out printed notes or study guides, and yes, those are great, but you know, they also say that, you know, actually physically writing it, you acknowledge a lot more. So whether a teacher hands you a pamphlet with notes, a study guide, something to do, and you're really trying to study, just take the extra time. If it really means a lot to you, rewrite it one time, rewrite it 2 times, rewrite it 10 times. Like, if it gets it to stick in your brain, do it. Like I said, these tips might not be for everyone. You could be like, Lauren, I've tried this all, or Lauren, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's helped me. I would like to think I'm pretty good at studying. I mean, I have a 4.0, and I'm in one of the hardest majors you can have. So it might work, might not. Like I said, it's not for everyone. I am not a studyologist, if that is a real thing. But anywho, yeah, so being able to set up the right proper conditions, I can't study in like PJs or blankets. I can't do that because I will fall asleep while I'm doing it. I can't study in bed. I can't study if it's hot. I can't study when it's hot. I'm a control freak. Like, if I study, I have to be wearing something very uncomfortable, because it has to keep me something that's like kind of on edge, like something that I'm always adjusting myself, getting myself like awake. I don't want to send myself getting too comfortable. I have to be in a cold environment, and because cold actually stimulates the brain. That's why a lot of like classrooms, stuff like that, are actually really cold, because it helps stimulate you and it helps keep you awake. But I also find it really important to set the mood. And I know you're thinking like, oh, set the mood, but like, no, like, you need to work on the proper conditions. You know, sit at a desk, sit at the kitchen table, you know, go to Panera or Starbucks and study, sit down, and if you create the atmosphere, it is so much easier to maintain that capability. Like, my dad, okay, here's an example. Like, when I used to work out all the freaking time, like, I have an at-home gym, and my dad's always like, Lauren, why don't you work out at the at-home gym? Like, it's such a waste of time to go to the other gym. And I'm like, I could never work out at my own home gym, because being home you get comfortable in your surroundings. You think, oh, I'm gonna do it later, or oh, I'm not gonna push myself as hard, or you get distracted and oh, I'm gonna go eat or something like that. Like, no, when you're in a certain place, when you create that atmosphere, you get immersed in the atmosphere and you become the atmosphere. So if you set up the right proper conditions, the right proper setups and everything, you'll be good. Like I said, it's not, I mean, it could be scientifically proven. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to quote anyone. But at the same time, it's worked for me. It might work for you. I hope it works for you. Try it. Let me see. So that's all about things to do when studying for the test. A lot of people like flashcards. I personally, I don't work with flashcards. I'm more of a color coding kind of gal. But I mean, hey, flashcards work for you. Work for you. Oh, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Okay. Especially if you're a high school student. If you're a high school student, it's like nothing on you. It's just an experience of academics. People who have teachers or professors, they're like, oh my gosh, they don't teach me anything. Like, I'm never gonna learn. Like, they wonder why I fail. That's not an excuse. Like, yes, your teacher might be horrible, might not teach you anything, might literally just sit there, watch movies, and say, you go do your work. That's not an excuse to fail. That's not an excuse to slack off. If anything, that's that's your chance to work 10 times harder. We live in the 21st century, the age of technology. Like, go on YouTube, go on Khan Academy, go on other resources, Google it. Like, it's not hard. You can teach yourself anything. I literally taught myself the entirety of my U.S. history class. I had no teacher because she was on maternity leave, and I had a sub that wasn't a history teacher. The passing rate of my U.S. history AP exam was so low, but I somehow passed. I still don't know how I passed, thank the Lord, but I passed. Why? Because I actually put in time, I made it work, etc. But I'm not gonna say like, oh, just because you do this, like, it's gonna be foolproof, it's gonna work for you. It's not. Like, there's a good chance that it might not. Everyone works differently. People don't think the same. That's why they have abstract thinkers and concrete thinkers and all different kinds of courses. Like, for calculus, I love math. I love math. I do it for fun. Like, I'm weird. I'm a nerd. It happens. For calculus, I hate calculus. I hate calculus so much. I hated Calc 1. Somehow passed my AP exam. Don't know how that was possible. And I'm now in Calc 2, and I'm going to have to continue to go on to Calc 3. Yeah, I have no idea how I survive. I literally studied 40, I clocked it from a 2-week span from studying from my last test to this test. I studied 44 freaking hours for an exam. 44 hours. Divide that by day, that's 3 hours a day. Now, I know when you think about it, 3 hours a day, that's not really a lot, but take that and you multiply it by 14, that's kind of a lot. Anywho. I still got a C on my exam, and not gonna lie, I cried in the middle of class, I cried outside of class, I cried while I slept. I personally, I don't like C's, I prefer A's. I mean, who doesn't love a good A? But, I'm not gonna lie, there are some times when you try your hardest and it doesn't work. But that's when you start asking other people, hey, how do you study? Hey, what do you do? Go up to your professors, hey, do you recommend anything? Do you recommend other source material? Do you recommend like a tutor? Do you recommend a website? And if anything, I feel like it kind of helps. It doesn't help you academically. I mean, yes, it helps academically, but I feel like at the same time, it also helps your teacher understand like where you're coming from. Like, your teacher, I do not want a teacher to write me off and be like, oh, she got a C on exam, oh, she obviously doesn't care. Like, no, that's not who I am. I want a teacher that knows, like, oh, hey, she's trying. I never want someone to think I'm not trying, because probably I care too much about what other people think, but at the same time, it kind of gives them the benefit of the doubt, like, hey, maybe I can help her more. I know she's having difficulty. So just because you study and you put in time doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but 97% of the time it works. Trust me, you need to study. But coming from someone who has really bad test anxiety, and when I mean really bad, I mean has blacked out before, threw up from stress, I don't even know, like, it happens so much. every day's a new adventure when it comes for me to study. But test anxiety is a real thing. I know it's a real thing. It is very apparent in my life, whether you can, have it very well, have it very few. Everyone has anxiety sometime in their life. Chances are it's test anxiety. I am sorry. Anywho. But I definitely feel, I'm still learning how to battle with my test anxiety enough, but a large part of dealing with my test anxiety has to do with studying and knowing you're prepared, because when you know you're prepared, then you feel good. But I also think appearance has a lot to do with it, because if you go to a test wearing baggy clothes, a shirt that you slept in, your hair up in a bun, yes, you might be comfortable, which is totally fine, if it works for you. I'm just gonna put that disclaimer for you. If anything that I say in this video, you're just Lauren, you are 100% wrong, I'm not doing that, girl, you're on crack, then I'm sorry. But I'm just telling you what works for me. I'm telling you what works for other people. I also tutor a lot of people in multiple subjects, so it works for them, works for me. I'm trying to help a pal out here. But anyways, I like to dress kind of cute, or I like to dress up a little bit, because when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, it reflects on your attire, your confidence, your personality, everything. So if I walk into a test kind of feeling diminished or kind of let down, and you kind of just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh shoot, you looking good. And no, that's not being cocky, that's you believing in yourself. Take that and go with it. Trust me, it helps. I don't know why it helps, but it just helps. I also noticed, because I'm a hardcore Jesus gal, I also pray before a test, just little in my seat, breathing, close my eyes real quick, and I just kind of say a little prayer. That always helps me, gives me a little bit of peace of mind, maybe say a Bible verse, maybe sing a Bible song, or any kind of song, whatever distracts you, get your mind off of it, or consoles you, then do it. I also breathing really helps, and I know it sounds stupid, yes, you breathe every day, but big breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, all that stuff. My US history teacher in college, did not like her. That's for a whole nother reason. Anywho, we would literally meditate before class. She would hand out peppermint. She'd be like, okay guys, now close your eyes, we're gonna focus on some left nostril breathing. And I'm just what is this woman on right now? At the same time, she's right. Breathing is scientifically proven to, the more estrogen you get to your brain, the more you're able to recall and pull it out of your hippocampus. Trust me, it works. Just when you're stressed, calm down, stay down, breathe a little bit, you're good. I also believe in kind of taking many breaks, and this can happen with studying too. If you're gonna take a test or study for a long period of time, you need to be able to divide it up. So obviously when you're studying, I like to watch Vine. Your girl loves Vine, even though it is discontinued or whatever you want to call it. I still watch remakes or compilations on YouTube. That saves my life. Or I play with my dog, because I'm a little too attached to my dog. Anywho, she always makes me happy, so I do it, little 5-10 minute breaks, maybe eat, maybe go walk around, get some fresh air, do something you want to liven up a little bit. During a test, however, that might not be available. You might not be able to walk through your test, which is fine, but that's when I close my test, I shut my eyes, I kind of breathe for a little bit, or I'll just doodle. If you doodle, I also kind of sing in my head too, and my favorite song to sing, get my mind off of it, is Wannabe by the Spice Girls, because I feel that's just a hardcore jam, and it and you can never not sing to that song. So I feel that's a really good song to help me get my mind off of it. But just little breaks, little spurts of time, little ways to distract yourself and cool down and understand, I find really helps me a lot. I also find going from your test and flipping it to the very back and starting from the last question up. Obviously, if you're doing it on Scantron, be very careful with your bubbling, but I feel that helps me, because teachers tend to put the hardest questions first or the hardest questions last. It changes, it it's interchangeable, but I don't know, I just seem to work better that way. It helps me out. And I don't know, it's kind of weird, like people critique me for it, but at the same time it works for me, so I'm not gonna change. Let's keep on going. Right, anywho, so yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about the taking the test portion. I sometimes even take like color-coded pens with me while I take my test. I like to underline things. I like to sketch things out. I like to even if I want to add some color to my doodle, like on my back page, it doesn't matter. If you have time, do it. Do not be afraid to not be the first person in the class to turn a test in. And I don't know if that just made sense, but just because you could be the very last person in the room, 1 minute to go. If you need that extra minute, take that extra minute. Who cares when anyone else thinks? I know in high school, it's stinks because there's a lot of pressure on you because you can't leave the class. But in college, when you're done taking tests and exams, you literally just get up and walk out and go home. Like, it's great. I love college, but I love high school. I loved high school, don't get me wrong. But like at the same time, who cares? Like, what if the person that turned in the test got an F? And what if because you spent the extra minute to read that extra word that they missed, you got an A? Like, you know, it's the little things. Like, I know it's hard to like say don't trust what other people think, but like at the end of the day, who cares? Like, my AP history exam, I took it in a room of like 20 people. I had people staring at me. I had people judging me, being like, oh my gosh, Lauren, can you just hurry up? And I took my time, and yeah, I was kind of rushing because I was like, oh my god, everyone hates me, like, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Like, at the same time, rarely anyone passed that exam, and I did. So, you know, frick all the haters out there, my man. But, yeah. Okay, that's how I feel. I feel like I've kind of addressed the whole test thing now. But now I feel like the after portion, which is just as important. Girl, treat yourself. It is important. Like, I'm not saying that because, you know, I want to sleep. Yes, sleeping is amazing, but like, it's actually important for you to rest, because if you don't rest and you just automatically start jumping into something else or do something else, like, your brain can't recover that quick. Like, you're gonna hurt it. And like, do you want to hurt your brain? Because like, my brain's constantly fried. But like, you know, today I took my 2 exams, and I'm like, after I got home from work, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the pool. I should be working on an essay that's due in 2 weeks, but you know what, Lauren, you can sacrifice literally a day to go to the pool, get some sun, and like, vitamin D is healthy for you. It actually makes you happy, and it's scientifically proven to like actually make you happy. So, and I needed some sunshine in my life. I needed happiness in my life, because being stuck in a room all day is just annoying. Like, especially when I'm going in between classes. I'm in classes at 2 hours at a time. A lot of my friends, they just go to the next class and just sit in there until it starts, and I sit outside. I live in Florida. It's 100 degrees outside, and I'm wearing long sleeves for God knows why, but I still go outside, and everyone's like, Lauren, why are you sitting outside? Aren't you melting? But I'm like, yes, I need that fresh air. I need that sun. I need to go out. I need to get it out of my brain. I just need that like mental break. It's important to treat yourself, you know. Eat that thing that you probably shouldn't be eating, but you know what? But like, if it makes you happy, girl, do you. You know, if you want to go to that concert, go to the concert. If you want to go to that game, go to that game. And BTW, the regular season hockey opener, is on Saturday, and I'm super excited, so go Bolts. But anywho, you know, it's important to splurge. It's important to get your nails done. It's important to eat what you want, like, in moderation. It's important to do all that stuff. It's important to, you know, go buy that dress that you've been wanting for so long. Like, it's important to treat yourself. Like, you deserve it, even if you failed. But if you at the end of the day, you said there's nothing more that you could have done to get a higher grade or do whatever you can, then that's all you can do. Like, you're only human. And trust me, as a control freak, like, I understand how hard it is to admit that, but like, you are only human. It is okay. Treat yourself, live a long life, be happy, live well, praise Jesus, love hockey, maybe not, but that's okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to share. Life is hard, school is hard, it tests you a lot. Trust me, I know. Like, every day, I'm not even joking, every single day this month I have cried somehow, having a mental breakdown about calculus and school and like, what do I want to do with my life and where am I going with my life and is this worth it? Is the path I'm supposed to be on? Why don't I go out anymore? Because I don't go out anymore. Like, I'm a loser. I literally only sleep, study, eat, study, work, study, school, study, 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 more work, study, some school, study, maybe eat, study, sleep, little bit study, and study. Like, literally studying is all I do. Like, I'm not even joking. I had one of my friends ask me to go skating tomorrow, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I can't go, like, I gotta study. And I'm literally like, Lauren, you just took your 2 exams, what else do you have to study? And I'm like, you know, that's so sad when you're so used to saying no, that like, when you actually can, you have to apologize for saying no. Like, it's okay, take a breath, don't get so down on yourself. If you feel like you're so stressed out that you can't do it, like, talk about it. At least I'm one of those people. Write about it, journal about it, read your Bible if you're into that. I love reading my Bible, but I know you're probably gonna make fun of me if I tell you this, and it's kind of a secret, so like, shh, even though I'm telling like the World Wide Web and like it's permanently on forever, the world. Anywho, I like ASMR. I like, I think it's really calming. If you don't know what it is, it stands for atomic, I don't know what it stands for. I mean, I do, but like, I can't remember. But anyways, it's basically a way to help calm yourself. It helps lessen my anxiety. Look, I'm not gonna justify it if you know what it is and you're judging me, but like, you just haven't found the right kind yet. And that's what I have to say to that. But it helps me. At the end of the day, you can't really rely on other people or what they think. So do what works best for you. And yeah, so study hard, work hard, take your exam, you gotta stay calm. Mint helps a lot, you know, chew some gum. I carry water with me everywhere I go. Get a water bottle, be able to distract yourself, you know, doodle, sing, if you wanna be my lover. But I mean, like, not out loud because people will judge you because like, they judge me, but like, nothing I'm not used to. And then at the end of the day, like, be able to take the break, be able to treat yourself, be able to give yourself that rest because you need that rest. Even though you say, I can keep going. Like, no, girl, just calm yourself. Like, breathe. Go get some sun. Like, have I progressively gotten redder? Because I feel like I have, but it's okay. Like, I just burn on the daily. Like, there's a reason why I get spray tans, like, every single week. And yes, I know, I get spray tans every single week, but at the same time, if you know me, like, I burn. Like, my name in my friend's phone is, like, Little Crispy when I text him. So, like, my nickname's low-key Larry the Lobster, but this is off topic. Anywho, you know, live your life. It's okay. You got this. Be strong, and good luck. If you have any other hints, questions, or recommendations about studying, drop them below, because hey, maybe I can use them. Like, you know, clearly I need them for calculus, but anywho, no, so I hope you have a great day, and study hard, play hard, go hard, work hard, play hard, dab.